Hope you're all having a good day. Wanted to do what I'm calling an emergency video blog, but it's not necessarily an emergency. But this is kind of jumping into it and uploading it out of nowhere because what I wanted to do was discuss Wicked Weed and them taking on the high-end branch of Anheuser-Busch as a strategic partner. Um, I don't really want to touch on whether it was good, whether it was bad. That's neither here nor there, and that's not really what we do. We support craft breweries and breweries of all sizes. We don't really mess around with a lot of news, but we try and develop content that can help our breweries grow. So, with that being said, and in coordination with some of the other video blogs that we've done over the last couple of weeks, I want to talk about the um, essentially the social media response and what Wicked Weed has done, because I think it's good for a lot of you out there to see what's happened here. Falls right in line with a lot of good advice you're going to get from social media marketers, and I think what we'll get to see is something kind of unique. And just how you handle and how Wicked Weed handled a potential firestorm, how they handled positive and negative feedback. But let me start walking you through this, and I'll kind of explain what I'm talking about a little bit further as you can kind of see what's going on with our actual screenshot. So just give me a second, and I'll bring this up for you. We're already at the Wicked Weed Facebook page. I apologize for blocking out the right-hand side of my Facebook screen, but I don't think you or my Facebook friends would like to be looked at on a global or national scale. Anyhow, this is where we are with the Wicked Weed post that came out today. Just over 4 years ago, we started out with a simple idea: make great beer. From West Coast IPAs to barrel-aged sours, we've been able to create world-class ales in a city that we love. We've grown from a small brew pub with 60 employees to a company with 4 locations, over 200 employees. In order to innovate, push the boundaries, and grow, we've decided to take on the high-end branch of Anheuser-Busch as a strategic partner. Our founding ownership staff will continue to lead Wicked Weed in their same capacities as we move forward and into the future. This decision is a large part of the future for Wicked Weed and will allow our brand, staff, and beers to achieve their greatest potential. We will be releasing more details soon. Thank you for being part of the journey with us. So as you can tell, they came straight out 7 hours ago this morning and really just laid everything out there on the line. This is what they're doing. This is the move of their business, and regardless of what people think, or what type of reactions, you can tell down here at the bottom, they've gotten a multitude of reactions, some good, some bad, some happy, some sad. But what they're finding out, they're being completely transparent with their audience, with their fans, with their customers, and one of the things about that, a lot of companies and a lot of smaller companies, when they hit massive points in their journey, they either shutter their doors or they open up and scream at the top of their lungs. And it's one thing I think is always good is to showcase your journey, whether it's good, it's bad, it's difficult. Sharing the success, especially in brewing where you have a customer base that really cares a lot about what you do and what you're doing. I think it's a really big deal for you to be able to be transparent and make them feel like they're part of this journey with you. Essentially, that's what Wicked Weed has done here. They've kind of opened up the doors to their customer base and just laid out what they're doing. They knew that there was going to be a backlash of this. If you start, Googling or searching Wicked Weed on Facebook, you're going to find, positive and negative posts from, all sorts of different types of, communities, different types of publications. I almost toyed with not doing anything on this because everybody just trying to get a bunch of hits off Wicked Weed, and their partnership with high-end branch of Anheuser-Busch. But what I really want to focus on is what they've done that was really good. And I think a lot of you all can learn from this. We'll start out right here with some of the people on their Facebook page. Good business move, but let's see the quality of the products. Mass production doesn't typically bode well for quality, hoping for the best. Now, while that comment is one thing, what we're trying to show is what Wicked Weed Brewing actually did. They tried to immediately respond to this post. Our beers will continue to be made here with the same attention to detail as always. This goes on down through a lot of their posts, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Whether people are disappointed with this or how it works, they did a really good job all day sticking with responding to what people were saying, trying to, say thank you for support, or defending their position and explaining in a little bit more detail what they're trying to do. Now, this is a huge example of what's going on with this brewery. And some of us, most of us, will probably never have to deal with this issue. But what they've done is they've done a really good job of just showcasing, a great way to, support their brewery, support their brand, support their journey, but also interact in that journey. If you listen to anything from, say, Gary Vaynerchuk or, big social media gurus, they always say that you got to interact with your fans. And this is exactly what Wicked Weed's done. They did a really good job at this. Regardless of, what you think about, what they did today, they did a fantastic job of just interacting with their consumers and interacting with their customers. Anybody that had anything to say, they did just, everything that they needed to do to win in this situation. And I'm sure some of you are going to kind of look back at this and, you're probably going to look at what they did and maybe look at the comments and try and look at the comments. I tried to move a little bit faster so that you wouldn't see all the comments. But really the whole point is you have to interact with your customer base. Whether that's on Twitter, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, whatever you have to do, you have to interact with your customer base. And that's not necessarily always just hitting like on something that a customer posts, not liking just, maybe just liking their beers, but, especially on things like Twitter, regardless if you think it's living or dying or whatever it's doing, it's really important that you're going to maintain a interaction with your customers. I can't say it enough, but you have to just continually work to build those relationships. And this isn't just a relationship that will stay in your brew pub, at your bar. It's important that this continues and goes over and over through multiple layers, through social media. The more interaction that you can have with your customers and, liking their posts or commenting back when they say something like, we really loved your beer, really loved our experience there. Hey, why don't you come back? If you come back, let us know, show us your post. First pint's on us. These are little things that you can do that just build a whirlwind of greatness for your brewery. It's one of those things we don't think about a lot because there's so many other things that we can think about, like making good beer. But, in a business, it doesn't just stop with good beer. It continues on with the good beer, the interaction, the customer, getting to know them, seeing how they interact on your website, and seeing how they interact on your social media sites. It's just a really good way to begin to understand how your customers feel, where you're growing. It'll help you with analyzation as you get bigger. But really, as we showed, Wicked Weed, may have hit a grand slam here. They did a really good job of showcasing, what they did, what they're going to do, and how they're going to move forward for their growth. And then they followed up. They didn't sit back and just let it ride. They monitored all day, and they posted and commented and interacted with their fans, which, regardless of what you think about the strategic partnership, and that's outside of here or there, we don't care. What they've done today is become more of a community with their fans and their beer drinkers, their consumers. So just something to think about, guys. A good learning lesson off of a really big day in the brewing industry. Just something to consider. When you're looking at all these little bits and pieces of how to run your business, this social media thing is real. What they are doing and what they did today was a straight home run. I cannot convey that any greater. It's really cool. I loved seeing that they did that. Outside of whatever we think personally about the strategic partnership as a Facebook or social media strategy today, Wicked Weed won, and we can all learn a little bit about what they did there, and just take good things from it. So just wanted to hit you guys with that. Something to look at. Let us know your thoughts. Hit them in the comment section just below us. Subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Let me know, if you have any questions, things that I can, really touch on. I've got years and years of experience in social media, and I'd love to share everything I know with you guys. So just let me know what else you want, and hope you enjoy. Head over to Wicked Weed's Facebook page and kind of browse this on your own, see what they did with a little bit more detail. Appreciate it, guys. Cheers.